This is for anyone buying a vehicle. $30,000 will be the base number. To keep numbers even, you should know buying a brand new vehicle right off the lot will depreciate by at least 10%, which now you're left with $27,000. You still have to finance the 30 because that's what the original cost is. But just know, as soon as you drive off the lot, you just lost $3,000. If you have no credit, usually your score will be between 601 to 660. Now, if you've had a credit and you've got a couple late payments, you will be going down towards this level 501, 600. And if you've gone bankrupt or worse, 3 to 500. And all that depends. It goes in effect on how much interest you will pay if you're financing a vehicle. So right here, case let's say you're 18, no credit, but have a job, you will be most likely started in this range. So you need a car. New car, you'll be paying 9.73%. For a used vehicle, 14.07. So for this range, number two, you'll be paying for a new car $2,900 additionally to your 30K, because that's what you're paying the bank because of the financing. And then for a used car, $4,221. If you've had late payments and you want to buy a nice car, a new car 13% should lead to 3,900 on top of whatever your car is worth already, or 5,000 for an 18% on a used car. And if you got bankrupt, the last thing you should be doing is buying a brand new car. You should be figuring out how to manage your money, because clearly you don't know how to manage your money. And that's why credit scores are used to determine how much percentage you'll have to pay because of how much of a risk you are to allow money to be borrowed. Now, if you have good history, you have the best odds, 6.7% on a new car, and then 9.63 on a used car, which would lead to $2,000 on a new car, and then 2,800 on a used car. So you're still paying on top of the already lost money, this amount, depending on your credit score. And these would be your final amounts. Number one, good history, 32,000 to 32,800. They're essentially the lowest when you're financing. And then it just keeps getting higher from there. But average pairs will reach around this area, late payments, and bankruptcy right there. Just know that each year the vehicle will depreciate 10 to 15%. So you're paying more than the vehicle's worth. So that's why gap insurance is made, so that in case of an accident or the vehicle goes down a lot lower than what it's worth, that gap insurance covers it. So gap insurance is a very good idea if you're going through the financing portion or part, if you don't have the money already. So what will affect it? So new or good credit, you'll need a cosigner for the best possible rates. So you can get higher to these numbers and get closer to the lower interest rates. Make bigger monthly payments, and you will, if you don't get penalized, it'll be worth it, because that means you're paying less per month on financing. So you're lowering how much you are financing. A sedan will depreciate the quickest, which means that the vehicle costs the least amount of money sooner, and you will still be owing if you haven't paid. However, that's a glitch. That means that the older sedans will cost the least, and most of the sedans are usually a four-cylinder engine, which means you have better gas mileage. Depending on the simplicity of the make, that will determine how much less likely components will fail. Now, if you're getting a Mercedes with all the bing, dings, and whistles and everything, it's most likely more things will fail. This is normal. More components, more failure possibilities. But if you get a Honda that's got barely any options, well, you will have less things to worry about. Year mileage will determine how much money will have to be spent to make the vehicle reliable. Higher mileage, most likely will need tires, brakes, suspension components, stuff like that, which will cost more. Might be cheaper, but it's a glitch where you can decide what would you rather do. Either finance a bigger amount of used car that's somewhat reliable, or get a vehicle that costs the least because of the year. So the way you win here is getting the vehicle with the lowest amount of mileage and being somewhat old. Because that means you have to spend less money making the vehicle reliable. But it still costs less because it depreciates quickest. And that's how you you're able to save some money. Quite a bit actually.